ToneX One is normally deployed just for amps in the pedal board, even though it has effects built into it. A noise gate, a compressor, a delay, and a reverb. That's a lot of effects and potentially an all-in-one solution. I've long imagined what it would be like playing live with just this one pedal. What's stopping me? There's no viable way to control the effects until now. I think this controller is going to change the game for ToneX One users. Today's video is sponsored by XSonic, who have kindly sent the brand new Airstep TX controller built specifically for ToneX and ToneX One. I get to keep the pedal, but XSonic has had no say in how the video is made, and all thoughts and opinions are my own. It's plug and play, pre-configured to work with specific parameters in the ToneX One, so there's no need to look up MIDI tables and manually program the controller. Just a heads up if you acquire the Airstep TX. Please read the manual in full before you plug anything in. That USB port is not for charging despite what your tech instincts are telling you. Use the included USB to DC cable and use the DC port. The battery is impressively large, and as such, it takes a longer time to charge. You'll eventually see that LED indicator light go from red to green after about 3 hours. Thank you XSonic for the controller. Here's a rig rundown as to how all of this is being tied together and how I'm using the ToneX One, just one ToneX One as my main rig. And what you see here is ancillary equipment. Quick signal flow, I have my wireless connected up here. It goes to my tuner, which goes to the ToneX One, which goes stereo out. I have a Y cable breakout here. TRS to dual TS to my GI Steve, which is acting as a live selector. And on a live situation, this will be my DI box. But I've paralleled the TS outputs out here to my interface so that you can hear this all in glorious stereo. ToneX One is providing everything, the amp modeling, the effects. The Airstep TX with the extraction pedal is going to help me control what's inside the ToneX. And I'm using a separate tuner just because I want to see the note that I'm tuning to. The problem with the ToneX One tuner is that it will show you whether it's sharp or flat, but it won't tell you what the note is. So sometimes you might be tuning to a wrong note and not realize it. Let's turn this on. I've got both the ToneX One and my tuner wired to the pedal train Volto power supply, so I can turn this on. The Airstep can provide power to the ToneX via the USB cable, but we're not going to do that because I want this to run as long as possible without having to worry about battery. According to the blurb, the Airstep does have a 100-hour battery life, and it reduces to 3 hours when you're using it to power the ToneX One. So I'm going to use an external power supply to power the ToneX One so that this is maximum battery life. Just by way of demonstration, you can use the ToneX One as a tuner. Just you press and hold the button and it will go into tuning mode. When you see the blinking light, that means it's tuning. And currently it's set to non-bypass, which I have to go and set it up in the ToneX. Then a slight problem is that you gotta press and hold again and to get it back to the same mode. So there's quite a bit of waiting to go in and out of the modes. Whereas over here, I can just snap here and go to tuning, tune out. This system is still not complete in terms of editing and making sure things work. You need the Airstep TX app, which you can load up here. Make sure that Bluetooth is enabled on your device to make sure that the Airstep is communicating with the ToneX One. And you can see that with this LED on and solid right here. So once you see that is solid, you know that the Airstep is connected to the ToneX One. Pair the Airstep TX with the app. Once you've downloaded the app, load it up, make sure Bluetooth is on, and then you press the little red bar that says Airstep TX not connected. It will search for an Airstep TX. Press that, connect it, and now you see that this is loaded up. When you press the context menu here, it brings out the preset list, and I'm going to show this to you. That's the drag and clean right here. Okay, there are two ways to run the Airstep TX. You can run it in preset mode, where these 4 buttons over here will cycle through presets. So preset 1, preset 2, preset 3, preset 4. There are 4 presets in the bank, as you might know in ToneX One. This button right here will switch between the modes of preset mode and Footswitch mode. In Footswitch mode, the effects bypass on and off is enabled right here. So this is for the compressor. You can see that you can turn it on and off. This is for the amplifier. You can turn it on and off. This is for the chorus and the modulation. This is for tap tempo. This is get back out of Footswitch mode. So think of this as the mode switch right here. And then there are long press, short press functions. The short press will turn on and off the compressor. Long pressing it turns on and off the noise gate. Short press turns on and on the amp. Long press turns on and off the cab. Short press turns on and off the modulation. Long press changes the effect type. So there are two ways I would run Airstep TX. One is to do preset mode, and I would arrange the presets from low gain to high gain. And right now I've got my JS Dragon Clean. These are the tone models that I've gotten from the Joe Satriani Amp Vault. Cleaned. This is the Dragon Plexi, the JS Cascade, and this is the 2K Ultra. So you can tell that there's some work to be done in matching the volume and the gain level as well as the effects in all of these. I was doing some work on the clean. You can see that all the effects are up here, but I have not finished work with the rest of the presets. So let's start to match some of the volume and the effects between the presets. So this is the clean. It's not too bad, actually. Now, this is my crunch preset. I want to turn this into my like a lead preset. Okay, first and foremost, let's bring up the gate. Let's turn this on, and my threshold is going to be down to 55. Let's say I like a long release gate, and that's going to be fine. You don't want the gate to be too high so that it starts to clamp down on your notes. If I have it, the threshold really low. Yeah, you see, this gate is set way too high. Really bring it down to maybe minus 50 to minus 66. Okay, let's go to compressor now. I want this compressor before the amplifier, the pre-post button right here. So this is going to be in pre. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to bring up the threshold. I'm going to make it a light compressor because I don't want it too gained up. Let's see, the attack, and bring it up to that. All right, I don't want the bass to be that high, so I'm turning the bass down. Oh, that's so nice. You can change the bass frequencies. I see. So you've got several things you can do here. Mid-Q will refer to the shape of that EQ curve, whether you want the bell to be very tight and precise or you want it broad and gentle. In this case, I want it to be a bit mid up, and I will have the mid-Q down so that it's a bit of a gentle mid push upwards. Now the volume's a bit low, so I'm going to bring that up a little bit. Let's turn the delay up. Sing that at quarter notes, that's fine. Mix, bring it down a little bit. Very nice, I do like that. Reverb, I like a good plate. And I'm gonna turn this mix down, and I'll turn the decay up. One really cool thing you notice, there's no save button, and that's because whatever you do on the pedal stays on the pedal. I'm not sure whether it's an update or something, but with ToneX One now, you can plug it to your computer, run the ToneX editor, and there's no need to save the preset. The preset is saved as you go along, which might be a good or bad thing depending on how you look at it. Sometimes you make a change and sometimes it's irreversible and you don't know how or what you did to the pedal to change it. Just so you know, just make small incremental changes so that you know exactly what's been happening and you won't panic when your preset is really different from what you start out with and you're not sure what happened. Now let's volume match between the three presets so far. Yep, so that's cool. Quick side note, the number one mistake that you can make when tweaking patches like this is to have everything of the same volume. Your crunch should be louder than your clean, and your lead should be louder than your crunch. At least a 3 to 4 dB difference between the three states. That's because when you're playing clean, you're likely playing by yourself. In a band situation, it's a light section, you're going to be playing by yourself, maybe light drums, light bass, whatever. But once the chorus kicks in and you want to switch to that crunch sound, if you're at the same volume, everyone's jumping up in volume as they rise in intensity, drums and bass, really riding it. But when you change to your crunch preset, if you've set your volume the same as the clean, which is softer, and you're going to stay at that same volume, you're going to be drowned out by the drums and the bass. Do yourself a favor, measure out how loud your presets are, and then try to have a 3 to 4 dB difference between the three states of clean, crunch, and lead. Okay, just for completion's sake, last one, which is going to be our super high gain preset. I'm going to turn this into like the affected kind of lead sound. So I'm going to, same thing. There doesn't seem to be a copy paste function for effects, which I hope could come out in a future update or something, but no matter, I can always quickly redial in the effects the way that I want to. This is meant to be a lead sound, so this is going to be louder. Let's have this in the pre-position. Let's turn it on. Let's bring it to a gentle compression. And then the attack, bring it up slightly. And I want this to be the chorus. Instantly, this reminds me of let's change this to a I'm not sure you can see this on the screen, but what this is really cool. Beside every parameter, you've got a little information sign, and when you tap it, it shows you and describes to you what the parameter is changing. And for the shape feature, this will change the shape from a sine wave to a square wave. Nice. So this is going to be a gentler. So let's say I'm happy with that. Let's go from clean to a crunch to a lead sound. My affected one. I can't remember how I set this up, but it seems to me that the global tap tempo is enabled. So whatever preset I'm on, it will listen to the tap tempo. So to prepare for a song, you might want to change to the Footswitch Mode and then tap in your tempo for the song. Let's say that was the tempo. Go back out so that you have your access to your clean, crunch, lead, and special effects. So the you heard a slight problem in managing these presets, and that is there's no preset spillover with the ToneX One, meaning that if you change presets with these, even with the same delay and the same reverb settings, there's going to be a slight pause to recalculate the delay and reverb that, because it's calling up a new preset. And because of that, I prefer to run my ToneX One in the other way, the Footswitch mode. Before we carry on, if you found value in this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell icon to grow the channel, join the community, and get YouTube to send us out to more people. Thank you. And to demonstrate that, I'm going to bring up the AC30. You see I've redialed in some of the effects here. So my gate, my compression, my delay, which I'm going to turn up just a smidge. What's cool is that you can tap on a number to open up a fine-tuning control so that you can plus 1% on the parameters instead of having the finger slide left and right, because that's not as precise. So anyway, here's a sound. If you go to Airstep setup, and if you go to expression control, I've connected to pedal 1, and my pedal 1 is on amp gain. And so I have the expression control mapped to gain. So you can see here the gain controls move up and down. For a clean sound, I might have it at gain 3 or 4 or somewhere in like the 30% range. Bring in for a crunch. And for a solo sound, bring it down even more. Down for a clean. Bring that down for clean. So running this in Footswitch mode will help you eliminate the problem of the no preset spillover situation where you don't want the delay and reverb to cut out when you're changing your presets. In a fast song, that instantaneous change between beats is okay because the tempo's high enough, but when you do a slow song and you're changing presets for, let's say, clean and lead sounds, it can be quite obvious, especially if you're trying to dial in more ambient effects with the delay and the reverb. So is it worth it? As someone who's always on the lookout for smaller rigs but with bigger sounds and utility, I love the prospect of using just one pedal for everything. But that's me. How about you? Has seeing the capabilities of this controller given you ideas as to how you're going to use your ToneX One as an all-in-one? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments below. Links to the Airstep TX will be in the description box and the pinned comments, so do check it out. If you're new to the ToneX ecosystem and considering diving into it, I have a playlist appearing after this where you can check out all my other ToneX videos. See you there.